Hey guys, welcome to the fish room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and today is Thursday. And as you can see, with the impending holidays, I've extended my shipping days a bit to try and get everybody in before I have to stop shipping. A week to 10 days before Christmas, most carriers stop guaranteeing delivery times on the packages, so I stopped shipping because it's just not worth the risk to me that things will be delayed. Even if it's only several hours, it could be a day, but they won't refund for those mistakes. So I'm trying to fit everybody in that's interested in time for the holidays. And speaking of the holidays, I think that this year, I'm sure a lot of you that watch YouTube have heard of the Vlogmas thing, where a lot of the vloggers put out content every day. I may try and do that, and I have to tell you right up front, while I won't be shipping the week before Christmas, things around here don't get any easier. It is the peak diving season for my daughter, so she's practicing 3 times a day. I get up at 5 a.m. I take her into practice. I come back. I get started down here. After school she has practice, and then again in the evenings. So getting all my work done and getting her where she needs to be and doing the things that come along with being a mother around the holidays means it's pretty hectic. But I'm hoping that regardless, I'll be able to try and give you guys some content every day. So please make sure you hit that notification bell to make it worth my time so you don't miss any of the videos. And also let me know below like what kind of other stuff you guys would like to see. I mean, obviously I'll be showing you work in the fish room, probably some tank updates, unboxings, etc. I may give you guys some tips for some of the best gifts for fish keepers, I think, in case you have a fish keeper in your life, or in case you need ideas to tell your loved ones. But really, just let me know below what kind of other stuff you guys may want to see. A long time ago, I did a vlog of my daughter's diving experience, and that was fun for me. However, I don't know how fun it was for you guys. Right now, I am making my labels. How I work things down here, if you're new to the channel, is I print my invoices, and then I can make a manual handwritten list. It sort of helps with my old brain remembering things. I go around and catch fish. I create labels for the bags. I bag them up, box them up, create a label for the box, and ship them out. And the reason I'm doing my orders before unpacking in an order that I have sitting over there is because I needed to make some room in some aquariums. So I just figured I would talk to you guys a little bit while I got my work done, since I'm not going to have a quiet time today. On each of these bag labels I put quantity, species, and who it's going to. In theory it helps me from making shipping mistakes, though for I think maybe the second time in the 12 years I've been shipping fish, I screwed up yesterday. And let me tell you, I mean, I just sent the wrong fish to the wrong person, but I thought I was going to puke when I got the email. I felt so horrible. I mean, I guess I should be thankful that it doesn't happen more with the volume that I ship, but I just feel like there's no excuse for it. I have so much redundancy in my system here that it just really shouldn't happen. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting some poly filter into each of the containers of fish and shipments. The piece of poly filter I use is determined, the size of it is determined by what kind of fish, how much waste they produce, and how many are in the bag. I use a couple of different sizes of shipping bags. My standard is this one, and I keep several thousand of these in stock at all times. When I get down to my last box, which has 1,000 bags in it, I buy 5,000 more. Every bag of fish gets double bagged, so it's important to make sure I always have them in stock. And this is a relatively very light, actually, shipping day for me. It's only, looks like 3, 6, 10 bags of fish, 3 different orders. So it's not too bad. It shouldn't set me too far behind. Again, I look at my list, make sure I have caught the correct amount of fish, double check my labels, and then bag up the fish and apply the label. So far today we're shipping out a bunch of apistos, some dwarf chain loaches, some of the mini moth cats or the dwarf anchor cats, some panda cories, some amano shrimp, a pair of super reds, some chili rasboras, and a peacock gudgeon. Some of you know that have been emailing me. I'm going through some of my personal fish and selling off some groups, because as I've said a bunch of times, I am a terrible, terrible hoarder. Terrible hoarder, and every once in a while I realize that I'm just keeping a ton of species that, number one, I could get again in the future because they're not that rare, but that it would really benefit other people to have the fish of mine that they'll enjoy and maybe have a little more time to work with breeding than I currently do right now. I have to sort of limit my efforts on breeding fish in order to maintain all the tanks and have enough space to keep things in stock. It's a constant struggle as a business person in the aquarium hobby with the limited space I have to really make sure I'm keeping enough items in stock that people want to order, and for me to be able to manage, care for, and do service to. And when I start hoarding too many of my own fish, you know, I run out of tanks to have sailfish. And when I focus too much on breeding species that are obtainable without having to breed them, it's just not a great use of my space down here. Now, I was talking to my husband, who, as you guys know, he isn't a fish guy, but I can't imagine anyone who is who could be more supportive as far as facilitating what I'm doing down here. And he has the idea of, in the spring, moving all this, my hot water heater and all that stuff, out of this side of the fish room onto the laundry room side of the basement here, which would allow for me to fit more racks of tanks. And let me tell you, that excited me. I mean, I do have sort of pipe dreams of being able to put in a building next year, but you know, the reality is that's a lot of money. And with all the, you know, I'm doing well on YouTube, but with all the issues with monetization and limited ads and all of that, I really don't feel like it's something that I can rely on yet as supplemental income to this, my primary job. So it's hard to sort of dream and plan for the future when when something like doing this for you guys is so unpredictable in its payoff. For me personally, it's got a huge payoff. I mean, I really have fun reading your comments. I have fun sharing things I've learned. I have fun sharing the species that I'm passionate about. So even if it never paid a dime, I'd probably keep doing it just because I love it for that reason. But of course, you know, time is money, and to put in the amount of time with the amount of videos I do, and have it not pay off like it had been or should be, it's a bit frustrating. But regardless, we'll keep plugging along. Let's see, what do I have here? So generally what I do here is pack by order, and then I'll carry the stuff over to my shipping station and office, where I'll make my insulated boxes and package everybody up with their heat packs. This time of year I do use heat packs in basically every shipment, even if it's warm where you are, because let me tell you, while it's a balmy 84 degrees in the fish room, outside it is frightful. It is getting very chilly, and I imagine any time now we'll start getting a lot of snow. So I package not only for where the fish are going, but really where they're coming from, because the way I ship is FedEx overnight, and to most areas in the US, that means they're delivered by 10:30 a.m. So really the peak temperatures of where they're going are way less relevant than the temperatures they're going to deal with overnight. So I really cater my shipping to an average of the two. Because the last thing you want is a box of fish to show up tragically cold. But at the same time, you don't want it to get too hot, because, you know, it's a really delicate balance trying to ship fish well. And it's a steep learning curve. And, you know, I have about 12 years experience now, and I still get nervous about every single shipment. So I'm going to finish these guys up, and then we'll unpack some fish, and I'll show you that as well. So I still have to make my boxes, but these guys have been down here long enough that they've come up to temperature to the fish room, so I wanted to get them unboxed. Now, if you're a regular here, you know that I get fishing all the time, almost every week, and every once in a while I'll show you guys an unboxing or whatever. For the most part, I don't bore you with it. Today, I have a whole bunch of stuff coming in. These are Soelia linealata, which you may be able to see. I just got in a small group of about 20 of them. And how I do things is I unpack things one box at a time, one bag at a time, keeping it relatively dark. And those of you that have been around for a while know that I also don't do much of an acclimation, or any acclimation other than letting them come up to temperature in the fish room before I add fish to the aquarium. Whew. And this reinforces why I just opened this bag and it reeks of ammonia. So what's of the utmost importance to me is to get fish out of that toxic water and into clean water. I'll be right back. Now I know a lot of you really don't understand it, and I did an entire video on acclimation, which I can link you to. But, ooh. Oh, I forgot about these guys. I got in female bettas. And they look a little beat up, but I forgot about that. I got in female crown tails. Ooh, that one's pretty. Ooh, her fins are in bad shape. Forget what I was saying because I forgot about those. No, they sent me males, which is what I didn't want. Uh-oh. Excuse me 1 minute. So I just went and checked my order, and I definitely had ordered females, and I definitely received males. So I'm not at all sure what I'm going to do with male bettas since I can't house them together. We may have to get creative here in a minute. I'm kind of irritated because I really wanted to set up a betta sorority, and I really don't know what I'm going to do with male bettas. I assume there's more in the other bag, or in the other box. You know, with a lot of fish, if they sent the wrong gender, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but unfortunately with bettas, it really does matter, since you can't really house boys together. I really am not sure what I'm going to do. I probably have enough aquariums around the fish room with where I can put them, but I don't like to, excuse me, I don't like to mix species, because you guys know I quarantine everything, and I'm not exactly sure at all what to do here. It's really frustrating. I was very excited too because they were going to be fish for me, so it's really irritating. You know, I don't even know. I probably have enough teeny tiny tanks that I can set up a little row for them of individual 2.5 gallon aquariums. But that really was not in the plan for today, and I really don't have time. I'll have to find another air pump because I don't have enough ports on my existing system to add 10 more tanks or 8 more tanks. Not only that, but I don't have space. I'm going to have to line them up on my shipping counter here, or maybe on top of the big boys tank. Really, really a massive inconvenience. And I understand accidents happen. As I mentioned earlier, I screwed up a shipment this week too, but it's kind of a big deal. Not only that, but a couple of these look really rough and they're going to need some significant TLC in order to repair their fins. Just going to move them up here for now until I see if there's more. What a mess. Oh look, they sent me cups. Like I would ever keep a betta in a cup. You gotta be kidding me. Unfreaking believable. I may have to put them in a cup just for today. Here's the rest. Well, that's a sassy looking one. At least he has his fins. Oh, what a nightmare. These are really fantastic fish. I've done a species spotlight on them before. These are one that I call the absolute best directional schooler that there is for nano aquaria, and their name is the Emerald Eye Rasbora, or Brevibora dorsiasalata, and they're like a little lemon colored fish that stay under an inch, and they have a little black spot in their dorsal fin and a bright blue lamp eye, and they are just amazing for a tiny tank. They stay way up in that top third, and again are just really amazing directional schoolers. So once I'm done unpacking everything here and figuring out what the heck I'm going to do with 8 male bettas that I didn't order, we'll take a look in the tanks and I'll show you these new fishes. I got in more restock of Coreodorus pygmaeus. I got in a special order of some cool gobies for a customer of mine. I got in some rainbows, dwarf species of Pseudomugil iriani. They used to be called, or Pseudomugil luminatus. Yeah, Pseudomugil luminatus. They used to be called Irian Reds. So I'm just going to unpack those guys real quick and then we'll take a look at what I got. All in all today, it was restock of a few things that I like to keep in stock, things like green neons, as well as a few new items to add to the stock list. Now most of this stuff probably won't be available until after the holidays, but that just means it has more time to fatten up and get healthy and strong here. So let's take a look at these bettas. I'm not sure. I mean, some of them aren't bad looking, but a few of them really are going to need some serious TLC because half their tail fins are missing. And again, the bigger problem is I have no idea where I'm going to put all these guys. That one's very sassy. You know, my intention was to get a group of crown tail females to set up a sorority and maybe potentially at some point breed Sid Fishes. But obviously that's not happening now. I'm gonna go look around the fish room and see where I can add these guys or see what sort of tanks I have that I could set up real quick for them. So it's not at all ideal, but what I've done is gone around the fish room and add the extra male bettas to tanks with fish that I don't think would at all nip at their fins. nor that they would eat. Normally I would never ever combine fish like this, but I really didn't want these bettas going into little cups, even if it was for a short amount of time for me to find them forever homes. So I put them in mostly with things like dwarf cories and dwarf rasboros around the fish room, and some gobies. And you can see some of them, their finnage is not in particularly great shape, so I thought that the dilution was especially important. Here's another one. Now, in my fish room I don't use lids, and I had an aquarium ready for the harem of females that had a lid, but getting in 8 males definitely made that not work out. So instead I've gone around and dropped the water line until I can get out to the store later today and fashion some sort of lids. I may throw some fish box lids on top of these aquariums in the meantime, which is a very glamorous and attractive solution. I am so irritated right now, but in good news, check out these rainbows. These are the Iriani or Luminatus. Absolutely gorgeous. I got in some golden gobies, which look great. I got in some Stiphodons, which look amazing, although I'm suspicious they may all be male. However, I've been wanting this particular species for my hill stream tank for a couple of years now. So if they are all boys, I'll order again and see if I can't get more females or some females. But for now, these guys will start their quarantine, and they are gorgeous. Stuck a betta in here too. My biggest concern is that they're going to jump, and I'm hoping that by a combination of putting styrofoam over the top and dropping the water line, it won't be too tempting for them. This is a really massive inconvenience. So right now, every tank in the fish room is stocked except for 3. So I'm going to work for the next month on increasing some of the quantities of some of the things I have, selling off some more of my personal fish so that I can fit some more variety into the fish room, and apparently looking for homes for a bunch of crown tail bettas. So I had some other plans for you guys, but with the great betta debacle, I think I've got to focus on that. I've got to get this place cleaned up. I have 80 million errands to run, and I'm going to go around and just slap some makeshift lids on these aquariums. If you know anyone looking for a crown tail, let them know. And try and make the best of a difficult situation. I mean, the reality is they're healthy, attractive fish. I'm sure I'll be able to sell them. It's just not exactly what I had planned for my day today. As always, thanks for your continued support. Let me know below if you guys have any comments, suggestions, or questions. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for this upcoming 25 days of Fishmas.